Hello and welcome back to another episode of Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy. We're your hosts, David and Eli. Before we get going too much, don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure that you leave some comments and all that fun jazz. Subscribe to us and you'll get updates of when we're going to be coming out. And so that way you don't miss out on any episodes. First things first, we're going to go straight to the bad. Seiya Suzuki injury. Right before we started, Eli, you found some information. All I had been able to find so far was that he was going to be getting an MRI. What did they find on that?
So they got the MRI, and they found out that he has a strained PCL, and he's not expected to start an opening season.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured that'd be the case. I think he probably is out for 15 to 20 games at minimum.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know how bad strained PCLs are, but I feel like any pain in the knee is no bueno.
Yeah, agreed.
Asking, talking about knee pain.
They said, yeah, I mean, knee pain sucks, dude. I mean, there's worse pain, don't get me wrong, but it affects everything you can do because you got to have your legs to walk, You know what I mean? And there's no good injuries. Let's be honest. I think at minimum 15 to 20 games. I could see this lingering if they need to let it linger into the season, because if they rush him back in any way, shape, or form, this is going to linger throughout the season, and that's going to impact what he can do at times, especially in the field. And him being a full-time DH isn't the best thing we want, because we won't buy the steroids in the lineup, right?
Right.
So, I don't know how much of an impact it will be for him with the bat. Like, after those 15, 20 games, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But in the field, this could make a big deal. This could be a really big deal. Michael Conforto was touted as because they had signed him, and if he makes the roster, he's going to get $2 million, blah, blah, blah. The pedigree that he's had. A lot of people thought that he was not a lock, but unless he just was dismal, he was probably going to make the team. I think that is even more so now. I think he and Dylan Carlson can make the team at this point. However, I'm going to say this too. I know Kevin Alcantara has not had a great spring. But if there was a
he's
time...
warmed up a little bit.
He has some.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still not been like the biggest. But if there was a time that this guy should get a true chance, it's now, isn't it?
Yes.
Is he going to play every day? No, not necessarily.
If you're not to do anything with him at the same, you might as well
try
to trade him. Exactly.
Correct.
Try to trade a guy.
I think part of the problem, because I think they would have much preferred to trade him over Casey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not supposed to be a slight against Kevin, but I think that a lot of the rest of the league wonders exactly what the Cubs have with him as well, because of his hot and cold, and you know what I mean?
Yes.
This is the time for him to be on the roster. This is the time. I get he's not going to play every day because you got Shaw. Shaw could play right field, but Shaw could still do what you wanted him to do. If Kevin Alcantara is on the team, I get you can do that with Carlson and or Conforto, but nobody gives a crap what we got with Michael Conforto right now. Agreed?
I agree.
The dude batted 199 for the Dodgers last year. Wasn't even on their playoff roster with the quote-unquote pedigree that he has. Conforto could come out and just crush the ball. I don't know. Doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that I'm not right on this.
I think the Cubs are just going to use him as a rebound.
Conforto?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, I get that. This is the time. Like, with the injury, it's the time to give Kevin Alcantara a true chance and see what happens.
Yeah.
Even if he blows it up, when Seiya's back, he needs to go back. You know what I mean? So he can play every day.
Opportunity is perfect.
But you never know what else could happen between now and then as well. I don't think that's what they're going to do. But if I was Carter, can't think of his first name right now. Damn it, the GM. If I was him, I would ask Jed Hoyer, what exactly are we waiting on? If we're not going to play him, why haven't we traded him?
Right. Because you can get a solid player out of him.
I think so too. They're not going to get a high level pitching guy, but you could still get a good player out of him. It's just I don't understand why we aren't doing that, or why it doesn't seem to be that's being considered. I may be wrong. Maybe it is being considered, but I don't think it really is. Do you?
Mm-mm.
It's the right time, and it's the right opportunity where he can get it, and then you could still use Matt Shaw the way they wanted to, filling in here and there. Should Matt Shaw be the opening day right fielder? Yes. You know what I mean? I very much think so. But after that, just go back to the plan you had for him and platoon Alcantara and, at the least, platoon Alcantara and Dylan Carlson or Michael Conforto. I don't care which one it is, frankly. I would still rather see Alcantara get the majority of that time if Matt Shaw's not in right field.
Right.
Because I feel like we know what we've got with the other two. Kevin Alcantara's had 22 at-bats in the major leagues. Stop. Full stop. That's it. That's all he's had. So he's not been given a chance. I get why Casey had more of a chance last year. That made sense. But Alcantara deserves. This is a shot. There's no Casey there anymore. Just crazy to me. I'll get off my soapbox. Miguel Amaya. What do you expect from Miguel Amaya this year, buddy?
I hope he bounces back from all the injuries he had. Did he end up playing World Baseball Classics, or did he sit?
No, he played quite a bit with Panama.
Oh, yeah? I don't...
He hit cleanup a lot for them.
Yeah? How did he do?
He did all right. He wasn't like
the 250
he was
area?
Lights out. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't lights out, but he was
training?
good.
Yeah.
And he did a good job with the pitching staff.
Mm-hmm. I think he's going to do well with our pitchers, mainly. I think he's going to, that's a strong suit. But hitting, I don't know. I can't compare him to last season because he hardly even played.
Agreed. He played well, though, especially against righties.
Uh-huh.
He hit well. And he hit well in the second half of 24 as well. I think he's going to hit well.
You think so?
Yes.
I hope he does.
I don't think he plays well against lefties or plays much against lefties. I think that'll be Carson's jam. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've said this before, I expect him to start out playing 40% of the time, 35 to 40. But because they're going to be cautious with him. First and foremost, we want this guy to stay healthy so we can see what we've got for a full season. Second of all, though, I expect him to hit against righties, especially because he has the last 2 years or a year and a half. You know what I mean? And I say that in quotes because last year was minimal. But how much time?
Last year, he did great.
Yes, 100%.
Mm-hmm. He was batting what was it? 281. That's really good for 96 at bats,
especially in today's game.
Right.
I'm not saying he's going to be like a 25 homer guy or anything like that. I think 15 to 20.
I don't think he'll ever be.
I think he could be 15 to 20 if given a full workload. You know what I mean?
I can see 15, yeah. He's not much of a he's more of a contact guy than he is a power guy.
100%.
Which I like about him. I love that. I think a lot of baseball players need to go that route.
I think he's got natural power too.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not looking to crush them all the time.
Right.
Like that. He's just looking to get good hard contact consistently. Yes. And I'm really impressed with the way he handles the pitching staffs. You know what I mean? And I think that he will continue to progress, and come 2027, hopefully he's ready to take over the primary role there. I think that transitions this year because I think that he's a better hitter ultimately than Carson. Carson Kelly probably had his career year last year with the bat.
I agree. And he doesn't strike out as much as Carson Kelly does,
Agreed.
which I like.
Agreed. But I think that Carson's very underrated with the way he handles the pitching staff and the defensive side of the
Right.
ball. But I think Miguel Amaya is on his way towards that. And a big part of that is Carson Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it will continue to be. I love Carson Kelly, and I want them to keep him for as long as they want, and he wants to be here. But I think that him playing 40% of the time is better than him being the guy who has to play 60% of the time in a normal season for him. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully he comes out, hitting the cover off the ball again too. But he did cool down quite a bit after that first month and a half.
Yes, he did.
He had spurts, but that's going to happen for an offensive guy with the outlook that he has. You know what I mean? That with his history, and he was phenomenal last year. But to expect that from him again, I think is
unfair.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfair to him. It's unfair to the Cubs to expect that. I think that they can expect that from Miguel Amaya. But I feel like I'm more in the minority on that, and I really hope that I'm right. Not because I want to be right, but because if Amaya is hitting the cover off the ball, or just hitting well, that's really good for the team.
Mm-hmm.
What about PCA, my man? What about PCA? He's done really well in the World Baseball Classic.
Classics, yeah. I think you'll get another 30-30 season.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. I think he will.
I'd be happy with 23. I'm not saying he can't do the 30-30. I would love that. I think he's incredibly capable. But I would be really happy if he hits 20-some home runs and has over 30 stolen bases again. I think he's capable of more.
Right.
But
the one thing I hope he fixes is, swinging way out of the strike zone on those sweeping pitches, which I guess he can't help when it's lefty-lefty. That's not his strong suit, obviously. But I think he goes in to the batter's box just wanting to kill it. And I think that's his problem. I think that's, that's where he's striking out on those outside pitches because he just wants to get on base so bad.
Yeah, I agree. At first, early on in the offseason, as I was looking through his numbers and stuff, what I thought he should work on was against lefties and improving that. But I think more than that, and that they've said the focus for him is better pitch selection when he's swinging. If he's feeling great, swing it whatever the hell you want because we've seen what he can do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to encourage that out of him because of what he's just one of those guys that can hit the cover off of whatever. But when he's not feeling it, he gets too much in his head as well, and he feels too much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's part of what makes him tick too, the feeling. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's a fine line. Like you want him to work on that, but only so much because that's what helps drive him so hard. I think Pete's going to, for the rest of his life, rest of his baseball career, will be up and down. He'll be hot and cold at times. It's minimizing the cold times, just like any baseball player. But especially with Pete, because his hot is hotter than a whole lot of other people that play this game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so if they can minimize that cold and maximize more of the hot and figure out a way to do that, and it sounds like they've worked on that quite a bit with him. And as he grows and matures and gets older, I think he can be an MVP candidate. Don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I think he will be an MVP candidate. You can say can be about a whole lot of players. You know what I mean? But I think he will be. I think the Cubs have two of those guys on their team right now. Michael Busch and Pete Crow-Armstrong. I think Seiya is close to that. I just don't think he will ever get to
Yeah, I think
MVP
he's just going to be a
status.
great ball player.
Yeah, agreed. I think he is the most complete offensive player currently right now on the team. Seiya.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Busch passes him and maybe PCA this year.
Yeah.
Did you see Jameson Title's outing? Last one?
Look.
It was awful.
Buns.
What, buddy?
He's buns.
Jameson is really struggling, and I said before that I really don't worry too much about spring training, but I'm starting to now.
Yeah,
February
especially
20th.
if you're facing AAA players and AA players. I mean,
On February 20th, he went 1 2/3 innings, gave up 4 runs and 2 homers. February 25th, this is per Carson Wolf with the Wrigley Wire. I'm telling you, I love this dude. February 25th, 2 innings, 3 runs, 2 more home runs, and a K. He had a K on February 20th, too. March 2nd, 2 1/3 innings, 6 earned runs, 2 home runs, and 2 strikeouts. In between March 2nd and March 15th, he had an outing with Canada, Team Canada, and he did pretty solid. 3 1/3, I think, gave up 1 run. March 15th, he was back with the Cubs, 3 1/3 innings, 10 earned runs, 2 more home runs, and 2 strikeouts. This dude's ERA is like over 22 or something.
yeah, I think it's 23.
He's given up 8 home runs in 4 starts. More than that, he's given up 8 home runs in 9 1/3 innings.
22-18.
What is it?
22-18.
It's time to be concerned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have we seen it before with him? Yes. We have.
Bad.
Huh?
Not this bad.
I don't think it's been this bad either. His velocity is also down now. Do you think he's hurt?
No, I think he's just getting old.
He's not that old.
I think he's just getting old.
It really sucks. I love Jameson. Partly for the way he performed down the stretch last year. So the last thing I want to see is him struggle so much. I don't think there's any way, unless I don't think there's anything he can do the rest of the spring that he's not going to open the team or open on opening day without being on the team. But at some point, if this continues through like the first month and a half, and Ben Brown continues to look as good as he has, and or Colin Ray or Javi, do you have to consider releasing him? Or
release him or
put him in the bullpen?
You could release him. You can have a trade package with Kevin Alcantara.
I mean, I think part of that would depend on what's going on with Seiya still at that point too, right?
Yeah.
I did see, I don't even remember where I saw it, but the Cub fan sided. I think I said it right. Fan sided.
Mm-hmm.
Said the Cubs should try and go after Jason Dominguez from the Yankees.
Dominguez sucks.
I mean, he has. I think there's talent there, but I don't think it's any more than Kevin Alcantara has.
Yeah, no, he's defensively way worse than Kevin
struggles
Alcantara.
big time defensively.
Oh my gosh.
To me, it makes more sense just to give Alcantara a chance if you're doing something like that.
I would never consider getting Jason Dominguez.
That's not over Kevin, at least.
Mm-mm.
It didn't make sense to me when I saw it. Ben Brown, this spring, 10 2/3 innings, so only one more third of an inning than Jamison. 87.3 mile per hour exit velocity. He's his 71st percentile for the spring. His hard hit percentage, hard hits has always been his issue. He's always been able to strike out batters, but he gives up way too much hard contact, right?
Mm-hmm.
34.8 hard hit percent, 79th percentile. And he's always also, last year at least, was league leading on barrels allowed. He has 0 barrels allowed in those 10 2/3 innings so far. He struggled that one outing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The sinker has been amazing for him.
That's good.
I'm hoping I want to see him continue that in the minors.
I'd love to see him in the bullpen. And,
I wouldn't be opposed to that. But I don't think that he continues. I think the Cubs think they have something special with him if they can just figure it out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And consistently. And so I don't think they're going to give up on him being a starter yet. And I get that. Especially with guys like JMO and Boyd all being free agents after the season. You know what I mean? Cade Horton yesterday sat at 97 mile per hour on his four-seamer in the first inning, topped out at 98.6. He generated 5 whiffs on 6 swings of his changeup. And he also went 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, and 10 strikeouts in a spring training game. 21 whiffs at 51% of swings. Isn't that
I'm telling you.
Awesome?
I'm telling you.
I am still going to say, I think that it's going to be up and down for him. But I think it's going to be more up than down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I hope that you're right, and I'm a little bit wrong here. And that he's just an absolute
he's going to be the best pitcher on the team
all season. Did you see they haven't announced it officially, but they think, like, they're leaning towards this is the rotation. Boyd, Horton, Shota, Cabrera, and Jamison. I think they're trying to do the right, left. You know what I mean? A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You're still going to have some back-to-back on it, but... Also, real quick, before we get into Ryan Rolison, Daniel Palencia in the WBC has had 4 shutout innings with 7 strikeouts. I hope that he doesn't pitch tonight.
Oh, they have to pitch him.
I hope he doesn't. He's been amazing, though. Absolutely amazing.
Daniel Palencia.
The problem with him pitching would be back-to-back nights, and I don't know that I like that either. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's allowed to do back-to-backs one, like just the 2 outings. But all right, Ryan Rolison has been sent back down to AAA, but he looked pretty good overall this spring. His velocity is up. He was striking out a little more. I think that he's probably going to be involved in those guys who are coming up and down, at least, you know what I mean, in that rotation,
mm-hmm.
Especially if they need a southpaw. What do you think?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Would you rather have Ryan Rolison or Luke Little right now? Come up.
I think they're just as good as each other.
I don't disagree with that. I think the upside is good, high on both, but the low side is really low as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Don't know.
Well, you got to pick one.
I don't think it'll change much.
I think I would ultimately lean towards Little, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't have a problem with Rolison either. I think Rolison's probably going to be more involved in that rotation, at least early on, than Luke Little is. And that's just me trying to think like Council would with it. He
If
seems
Luke
to
Little,
favor him.
I'd say if Luke Little worked on not walking people, then I'd be a lot more in favor in having Luke Little.
I like Luke's stuff a lot, but it gets so wild sometimes.
Yeah. See, let's see how many people.
I like Rollison's stuff too. He's got the pedigree. He wouldn't have been a first round pick if he didn't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Gasolina. Let's just watch the video.
Well,
Go,
I mean,
go!
Rolison, he's only walked 4 people, which is better than Luke Little.
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta look at StatCast. That's some stuff.
Fair enough.
Because this is not. I don't know. I don't think it'd make a difference, really. I think Rolison would be better in some situations, yes. I think Rolison would be better in tougher situations when, bases are loaded. Which they're never going to put those 2 in when the bases are loaded. But still,
right.
If the.
I mean, if they have to,
there,
they might have to at times.
I'd put Rolison in.
I think that we would both be in agreement because 2 other guys I think that could end up in that rotation of guys coming up and down would be Gavin Hollowell, possibly if he doesn't make the opening day roster, or Ethan Roberts. I trust both of those 2 more, but especially Gavin.
Yeah. I hope he plays.
I hope he makes the opening day roster so bad. Yeah. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, he's proved himself. He's proved himself. You got to put him in there.
I don't disagree. 6 innings, 11 strikeouts. That's not bad.
Not at all.
One little question. I know that Matt Shaw led off again last night. He led off the game with a double. It was a great hit, 408 feet off Gavin Williams. He's led off 6 out of 17 times that he's played this spring.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something there, or am I just looking in too much, you think?
There might be something there.
He's hit second 3 or 4 other times.
But then you got Nico and Michael Bush, who hit very well in the first slot.
I'm not trying to say that he should be that now. I think Matt Shaw could be a leadoff hitter in the next year or 2.
If we don't have those guys, then yes.
If he even if we have Nico or Bush, I think Bush is better in the middle of the order, ultimately profile better.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Shaw. If Matt Shaw can transition more into the guy that he was throughout college and the minors before he came up last year, and draw walks and hit with good contact and hit the ball the other way and use his speed the way he did a good job of using his speed last year. His base running was solid. Solid to good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think he profiles into a really good leadoff hitter. If he can transition that. I like the idea. Maybe I'm just looking into it too much. I thought it was kind of a cool, just something. I was like, man, he seems to be leading off a lot. And so I went back through all the games and looked to see how many times he led off. And I was intrigued by it. That's over 33% of the time. I don't think Council's doing that by accident. I think he's probably seeing what he's got with that. Because I'm not opposed to Bush being the leadoff hitter. I like Nico in that spot. I don't know that Nico likes it all the time, but you also like Nico's bat-to-ball skills with runners on. I get that. But I just think Bush, if Bush is the 3, 4, or 5 hitter, the overall lineup is probably better. Because it means you got somebody else who can lead off at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jacob Webb. What do we expect from Jacob Webb this season?
I don't know much about Jacob Webb.
Do you think
it doesn't seem
if
like he's
everything
pitching
goes
too bad.
according to plan, he's not.
Mm-hmm.
And he pitched well last year with Texas. If everything goes according to plan, he's probably not going to be in a ton of high leverage, but might a little bit. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I think he's the kind of guy that comes in the 5th, 6th, maybe the 7th to help bridge the gap. But we'll do well with it. I'm excited about him being on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Cautiously. You know what I mean? There's going to be at least one guy that we think is going to be good in a bullpen that's going to suck.
Yeah.
It almost always happens. At least one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just hope it's not Caleb Thielbar.
Yeah, I hope not. He seemed pretty...
Because I love that dude.
Yeah.
I love that dude.
He's got nasty
And last
stuff.
but not least, yes, he does. For sure.
So much movement.
Last but not least, Colin Ray. What do we expect from Colin Ray this season?
I expect him to be in the bullpen. Unless J-Mo's not doing too hot and they release him, then I can see him come up to the starting area.
Yeah.
But, I expect kind of the same results as last year. Not as good, obviously, because he had a really good season last year. Especially towards the end.
Say, yeah, I would argue that it was probably his career year. Do I think that he could be really good again? Yes. I think expecting him to repeat what he did last year again would just be crazy. Because he's not ever been that good before. So
he's striking out a lot of hitters.
He's looked really good this spring.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this. If Ben Brown, Javier Assad, and Colin Ray, this is before Justin Steele is ready. If there's some kind of injury or in Jameson isn't getting it together yet, and they're all three pitching the way they have this spring, which one would you prefer to bring up to the starting staff?
Much as I hate to say it, Ben Brown.
I was going to say, did that hurt?
Yeah. Ben
it's
Brown,
because of the stuff,
he's
right?
looking really good, especially if he can get that sinker going.
His stuff is better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as
Ben
I hate
Brown,
to say,
if he can get it figured out, his stuff is good enough, he can be a frontline starter.
Mm-hmm. And then, honestly, I'd probably...
I'm not saying he's going to be, but the capability is more there.
I would put Javier Assad second, but I just like him so much more in the bullpen.
Javi?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Javi could end up being a guy traded at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Partly because he deserves to be starting.
Right.
You know what I mean? But there's just not a spot for him right now. I would argue going into this spring, he was probably 8th on the depth chart if you include the steal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Behind Colin.
He'd be
I think
a good guy for a
nitpicking
lot
between
of
those two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rockies.
I don't know
who we get from the Rockies. The Athletics, he'd be really good. Athletics would be a good place for him.
I want to keep him,
Mm-hmm.
but at some point, like You can only play so many guys.
Right.
But I do. I love Javi Assad. I just got a card of his, an autograph card of his today.
Oh yeah.
It just came in. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
He's got a pretty sick autograph.
I like the other guys better though.
Yeah.
Huh?
He's got a pretty sick autograph.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Awesome. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave some comments. And let us know what you think. Next episode will be on Friday. We will talk about, I'm not sure who offensively yet. Michael Conforto probably Dylan Carlson. I may throw a third guy in there. I'm not sure yet. This will be our last episode of previews or what we're expecting from players, though. Ben Brown, Riley Martin, and Ethan Roberts will also be on that. So, all right. Everybody have a great day.
Go Cubs, go! Let's go!
Go Cubs, go.
Cubbies.